I'd like you to, if you can, print this out from the handout on today's lesson, or take a piece of paper and draw this, your life timeline. Put the date of your birth on the far right. Well, that's left for you. On the far left. And put the year you think you're going to die over here on this side. Now, once you've done that, I want you to put as I give you different options, write the year in here that you think that option will take place, if it will at all. Some of you may feel that some of these options won't be part of your life. That's fine. So, place the year that you think you will begin, maybe you have, you'll begin living full-time with a spouse or a partner. What year will you begin living with a spouse or a partner? Number 2, put the year in there that you think you will have your first child, if you intend to have children. What year will that be? Write that along the line, somewhere in your life timeline. 3, and for some of you this may have all happened already. What is the year your first parent will pass away? The year your first parent will pass away. Number 4, and you can bracket these, the years that you think you will have your highest earning power. 2000 what to 2000 what? No more than about 5 years. Your highest earning power. Now, some of you won't think the next one will happen to you, but I can guarantee it happens to everybody. And at some point, something will happen for you. What year, this is number 5, will you have your first grandchild? What year will you have your first grandchild? And next, what year will you have your midlife crisis, whatever that may be? What year, number 7, will you really and truly begin to know that you're getting older? Number 8, the year when you just might move somewhere that you don't at all see as in the picture right now. When might you move somewhere? What year? That you don't even think about now, someplace where you might live, but you will. Number 9, the year when you have had or will have a life-altering event. Could be about anything. And number 10, what year will you have your best vacation? I'm going to give you a minute here to just look over what you've done. I'm going to read down through them again. Number 1, the year you will begin living with, or have begun living with, a spouse or a partner full-time. Number 2, the year you will have your first child. 3, the year your first parent will pass away. 4, the years when you think you have your highest earning power. 5, the year you will have your first grandchild. 6, the year you will have your midlife crisis. And I hope for each of you there's only one of those. 7, the year when you will really and truly begin to know that you're getting older. 8, the year when you just might move somewhere that you don't see in the picture right now. 9, the year when you have had or will have a life-altering event. And 10, the year you'll have your best vacation. Now I'm going to go down over these and give you my years, and then I'm going to ask you a question and we're going to talk about it a little bit. The year when I got married was 1971. So if you think of my timeline, I was born in 1948. I'm going to die in 1939. 1971 would be near the beginning of my line. Number 2, the year you'll have your first child. That for me was 1980. I was 32. The year your first parent will die. For me, that was at age 47 in the year 2005. The years when you will have your highest earning power. For me, that was 2003 to 2005. I don't have to speculate on most of these things. They've already happened for me. The year you'll have your first grandchild. That was in 2008 also. The year you will have a midlife crisis. That was 2005. And don't ask me what it was. The year you'll really begin and truly know that you're getting older. Well, I think that probably was 1994. I would have been 46. I had a bad bicycle accident and cracked my head, broke my helmet. I realized that some of the dreams I'd had as a younger person just no longer might be physically possible. And my hair was starting to get white. Not nearly as much as it is now, of course. Number 8, the year you just might move somewhere that you don't see in the picture right now. That was 2006. I was an East Coast person, lived in Maryland, Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania. It never occurred to me I'd be moving to Kansas. I'm now in my 14th year and I'm loving it here. So it was 2006. The year that you have had or will have a life-altering event. That was 2005, and we won't go into that. And the best vacation, I thought it was going to be this summer. My wife and I are going to go to Scotland a year early for our 50th wedding anniversary, but of course with the coronavirus, that's not going to happen. It will happen next summer. It will be our only opportunity to go on a trip overseas. Only opportunity because I've always worked for nonprofits and we don't have a lot of money. We have enough, but not a lot. So I'm anticipating that a year from now, as we go to Scotland, we will have an event that we will remember most of our lives. Now, if you can imagine, your timeline has most of the answers to those things after 2020. My timeline has almost all of those things way back in my life. So if you've ever wondered why you and your parents or other adults don't understand each other all that well, this is why. Your significant life events are still in the future, and you don't have those in your memory banks, your experience banks, to help you think in a broader way about what life is. Where older people have had all these experiences to think about, to remember, to incorporate into how we see, how we live, how we act out, how we experience life. So it really makes a totally different person, whether or not you've experienced most of these life-altering things, or whether you haven't. For instance, if I ask you now, what life-altering event on a major scale has happened during your lifetime, of course you will remember this virus. But what else? For your grandparents, they can remember exactly where they were when they heard that President Kennedy was shot to death. I can remember I was in my school locker room, getting dressed after gym class, high school. I remember exactly where I was when Neil Armstrong said his famous words about one small step for man, one giant step for mankind, when he stepped onto the moon. that July 1969. There are significant events that I remember that have impacted me. The shooting death of Martin Luther King, of Robert Kennedy, Cesar Chavez's great boycott. Lots of things have impacted my life. They aren't even in your history banks. So why should I expect that you will understand life in any way like I do? And why should I expect to understand who you are when lots and lots of major life events are still in your future? It is incredible enough that we are here sharing a classroom together, and I'm trying, hopefully, to get you to think about different things. But for you to really understand who I am as a person, or for me to understand who you are as a person, it's basically impossible. So that's what I wanted to start today's class with, and I hope you've given it some thought to why you and people older than yourselves really don't understand each other.